Yo, what's up guys? It's Woxy and today I'm gonna be making a new video for VFX tutorial. Some basics, right? This is just gonna be the basics talking about what a particle is, and that's just it, just explain some of the property. So first things first, you're gonna have to head over to game settings, make sure you open a new base plate and you're gonna save the game. This is the only way you'll be able to use textures. You won't have to save the game. Alright, so first thing first, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over there to you're gonna add a part first. And when you have the part in, you're just gonna click the little plus and you're gonna type in particle emitter and you're gonna add that. And that's just it. Simple stuff already, alright? So first let's go through the properties and what's the difference are and what they do. So first we're gonna start with color at the top. So first thing first, I'm gonna change the color. That's it's just self-explanatory, just you changing the color, different colors. What you can have. Then we're gonna go to light emission. Light emission is basically the brightness of the particle. You're always gonna keep that to 1, or you could do it -0 if you want negative color or positive. Next is light emission is basically more brightness to the particle. Could turn it up, could turn it down, put custom numbers. Next is light orientation. Orientation is basically the way the particle, let me see, affects the world. There's four different. There's facing camera, meaning it will always face the camera. No matter what direction it goes in, it will always face the camera, which is you, your body. Facing camera world up now is kind of a little different. Let me show you in a second. So it means it will face your camera, but it will also be facing the world up, meaning it will always face the camera world up plus facing you. It's pretty simple once you like start using it. Velocity, parallel, basically the same thing, but you won't really see the effects until we actually start doing some stuff. But that'll be later episodes, right? Next is perpendicular, velocity perpendicular. You'll use this when you're using magic circles, some anime ability stuff like that, because it makes the particle go flat. Know what I mean? Alright, so next on to size. Size is basically the size of the particle emitted. That's just a size. Squash is it just basically squashes the particle together. You'll be using this when you're making lines, when you're making dash abilities, teleporting abilities. It just basically squashes the. You could use minus or positive. It just basically squashes it down. Alright. Next is texture. Texture is basically just the decal or the type you could add or you could use. Well, particles will be provided for the course, so you don't have to worry about that. Transparency is basically just it's kind of explanatory. You put it to one, it disappears. You could put like in between, get it a little part transparent. That's just what transparency is. Zero offset, it basically moves the particle to different directions. You'll use this a lot when you're making like pyre effects, block effects, to like get like the really cool, realistic movements from the particle. Won't really use that much. Next down, we'll go down to emission. Basically self-explanatory. If you go top, if you go bottom, it'll go down once. If you go left, it'll go left. If you go right, it'll go right. Basically just changing the direction which the particle will be emitted from or emitted to. Same thing. Lifetime is basically how long the particle will basically survive, you know what I mean? Not just how long it survives. If I put it to 1, it only survive 1 second, then it just disappear after. Put it to 10, it'll survive 10. It's not pretty simple stuff. Next on to rate. Rate is basically the number of particles emitted at once. If I put it to 1, it'll only emit 1. If I put it to 100, it'll emit 100. That's basically how much is being emitted at once. Rotation now, self-explanatory too, is just rotating the particle 360 degrees minus 360. Rotation speed is basically how fast it is gonna rotate. So self-explanatory. Stop speed is just how fast the effect will be coming up. If I were to put it 1, it'll come up pretty slowly. If I put it 100, it'll come up really fast. It's basically how fast the effect is being emitted. Spread angle basically just spreads the particle in the angle that you gave it. Say I would have given it 360, it go 360 right around. You give it 50 and it just come in. That's how you make like cool effects. Like when you're doing like body auras, you could use this. Cool effects. Next on to emitter, we're gonna skip this for now because I'm not gonna use that. Flip books, we're gonna skip that also. That's more advanced stuff. Acceleration is basically acceleration of the particle in one direction. Basically, you're giving it speed, but for a certain direction alone. You're gonna be using this a lot too later on. Next up is the particles drag. Drag basically slows down the animation and keep it closest to its spawn point, meaning it won't accelerate past. Lock the part basically means if you were to move the part, you see how it's trying to catch up with the part. If you were to lock it now, it'll move with the part, so you don't have to worry about it spreading. You'll also be using this for trails, but that's later on. And next up we have time scale. Time scale basically slows it down. So the particle, you'll still be doing everything, but just at a slower pace. You'll also be using this a lot. That's for later on. Velocity inheritance. I've never used this. I don't know if this is newly added. I probably have to test it out, see what it does. I've never used wind effect either, but for the bottom time scale, those are also pretty used, bro. Right. But this is basically it for the basics of whatever it is. I won't get into anything deeply, but if you want more videos, just let me know and I'll keep updating.